Yo, what is going on, you guys? Bashtianygo here, and today, guys, I'm super excited to be able to show this to you guys. We have full power Sky Striker here in the building for the first time since 4 years, 5 years, or however long it's been, guys. Engage is finally a 3 off the brand new Forbidden Limitless, which starts on the 15th. I don't know what days the video is going up, probably the 14th, probably the 15th, I don't know, but I want to make sure that you guys get this ASAP. I also got a Sword Soul deck profile coming up available for you guys, Orchist. We got Snake Eye, we got Fire Kings, we got all these different types of combos and deck profiles coming up, guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned, make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for it. But let's stop beating around the bush, guys. Let's get right into it. So here we are, guys, our Sky Striker stuff. Now, honestly, this is the most excited I've been for Sky Striker in a very long time. You guys know I'm a fan of the deck. But overall, with the full release of Engage, the deck is just incredibly consistent, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I believe is going to be the most concrete way to go ahead and go about playing this deck. This deck also got an indirect boost, guys, by having anti-spell for you get hit on the Forbidden Limitless. I believe it's at 1 right now, which is fantastic for this deck because that is a card that really crippled this deck, so we don't have to go ahead and play around it much, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. We have 3 copies of the beautiful Sky Striker Ace Ray, of course, 1 copy of Rose, and I do play 1 copy of the Surgical Hamp. We are playing a blind going second build. Another card you can play instead of the Hamp if you don't like it. I like it because it's searchable. It's still a Kaiju, still good. But if you guys want to play like a Pankratops instead, that's definitely fine. I just don't like that Pankratops is not searchable. Plus, with the amount of spells you play in this deck, you're going to be perfectly fine, guys. And that's going to be it for all the monsters that we play. Just 3 Ray, 1 Rose, 1 Hamp, as pure as can possibly be, because the one thing that Sky Striker excels at is breaking boards. With the amount of power spells it can definitely play, guys, and we have this deck loaded to the brim with them. But before we get to the full power spells, guys, let's get to the give a nod to the OG. We got 3 copies of Sky Striker Mobilize Engage for the first time in the deck in, again, I don't know how long. 2 of the alternate art, 1 of the OG. I'm still going to go ahead and pick up that 3rd copy of the alternate artwork, guys, but absolutely amazing. If you guys have not read Engage, it is a crazy card where you have 3 or more spells in your grave. You can not only search any Sky Striker card from your deck to your hand, you can also go ahead and draw a card after shuffling. So it's crazier than Pot of Greed. This card so good because you get to search one of them, right? And you get 3 copies of the Sky Striker Mobilized Link Gauge for the OTKs, push for damage, things like that. Really crazy. In addition to, we also have some of the OGs, of course. 3 copies of Widow Anchor, 2 copies of Shark Cannon because there's still a lot of graveyard decks out there, 2 copies of Afterburn because we are playing going second, 2 copies of Multi-Roll because this card is crazy, and 2 copies of Area Zero. So Area Zero is really good in combination with Ray, and just to add a little bit more consistency to the deck. I just overall really like it to be able to go ahead and dig for Sky Striker cards, and Multi-Roll is just crazy way to go ahead and keep your engine going. Realistically, guys, if you go ahead and resetting and Engage, banish it is perfectly fine because you still got 2 more in the deck, which is crazy. Oh, the last OG card, of course, we do still play the 1 Hornet Drones, and that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. That's it for the Sky Striker cards. For the power spells now, guys, this is where the real sauce comes in. Now, we played 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets, which of course is not too saucy. I mean, it's pretty standard when in a pure Sky Striker build. Forbidden Droplets is such a crazy card right now, especially with the cards I play in this deck, and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean here in a little bit, but first, let's go ahead and keep going with the consistency. We'll play 2 Thrust, 1 Talents in the main. Thrust is going to be able to search you not only Engage, but pretty much most of your Sky Striker consistency spell traps, so I mean spells, so it's going to be really good to go ahead and have that out. Search Talents, search Engage, whatever you might want. Also, it does search you out some amazing 1-ofs in the deck that we do go ahead and play. I'll show you guys here in actually right now. We play 1 copy of the Harpy's Feather Duster. Now, anti-spell fragrance is to 1 I really don't fear, so there's no real sense to playing Cosmic Cyclone in the main. You can just go ahead and search the Duster whenever you need it, and you just wipe your opponent's entire back row, and then you're good to go from there. I play 1 copy of the Called by the Grave in order to make sure you have, you know, just any graveyard hit. This card is really good, especially in this format, going first or second, especially going up against the Snake Eye, Despia, whatever it might be. Just Called by the Grave is really good right now. And then for the for the goo, we play Change of Heart, Snatch Steal, Mind Control, 3 Upstart Goblins, and the 1 Evenly Matched. Now I threw a lot at you. Let me go ahead and go one by one. Mind Control, Snatch Steal, Change of Heart. These cards are crazy in any matchup you are going to go up against. Being able to take your opponent's monster, link it off is just so underrated right now, that being able to go into a blind second match where there's nothing really that's non-targetable right now except for Pirelli, it's really good to just be able to go ahead and just take your opponent's monster, be able to link it off with it, and then you're good to go from there, or use it to send off of the multi-roll effect. So overall, guys, you're going to be getting so many pluses off of these cards as well, especially if you activate Snatch Steal, then you have your opponent's monster and your own monster, and then you go ahead and activate cards like something like Forbidden Droplets and send both of those two. You use plus infinitely off of these cards. It's really good. I do still play the 3 Upstart Goblin because, of course, first of all, it's at 3, which is crazy, and just overall consistency is really good. But so Upstart Goblin in this deck specifically serves 2 purposes, of course, which is 1, getting you a little bit more consistency, letting you draw, which I prefer this over a card like Pot of Desires in this deck, because it gets you, not only that, it gets you a spell in the grave, which is obviously just infinitely better in Sky Striker, and the 1 copy of Evenly Match as well, because we are playing blind going second deck, so we play technically 3 copies of Evenly Match and 3 copies of Poppy's Feather Duster with playing the 2 Thrust. So that's going to be it for the main deck, guys. Playing a clean 40 card main deck for this deck, guys. As far as this goes, I mean, honestly, I think it's really consistent. I've been doing some test hands, some combos, and, well, not combos, some, what's it called, some test hands, some test duels as well. I just think overall it's pretty consistent, honestly. I think it could potentially benefit from playing a card like Pot of Prosperity, potentially. Pot of Desires, maybe not, but let me go ahead and show you guys the extra deck real quick, right? So for the extra deck, guys, well, first of all, we're not cutting any of these, right? 3 Kagari, 3 Shizuku. I do play 2 Hayate just because the extra deck with Sky Striker is becoming a little bit more and more, I don't want to say tight, but there's just a lot of other options we could potentially go into, so I did have to cut 1 Hayate, which really does, it goes against what I believe in, because I always believe in 3 Hayate, but this should be perfectly fine for you guys as far as the ratios goes. 1 Kaina, 1 Azalea, 1 Zeke for the additional Sky Striker stuff, and that's going to be it for the Sky Striker linked monsters, guys. For the Azalea is crazy good as well, as being able to constantly just destroy stuff during the battle phase. Zeke is really good as well. Kaina is nice to get another attribute in the graveyard for Access Code Talker, but she also can't come up, especially not allowing your opponent to attack, which is kind of cool. Dark, Hida, SP, Access Code. So with, again, I just threw a lot at you. Let me go ahead and go one by one. So Dark and Hida, first of all, you can make with Kagari and Hornet Drones extremely easy. So that is going to be really good. Just go ahead and get you into a potential link into SP Little Knight if you guys want to go that route. Or that already gives you 3 monsters on the field. And then if you have a Change of Heart, Mind Control, Snatch Steal, which again you pay 5 plus ways to search it with Thrust. Then you just take your opponent's monster, you make access code. Not only did you already take one of your opponent's monsters, but then you're also going to have a fire in the grave in addition to Kagari, so you're going to have just so much plus to go off of access code talker as well. And then Dark is just really good as well. You can go ahead and make this with like Azalea, or just make it with one of your opponent's monsters that you go ahead and mind control, something like that, and then you go ahead and make your own SP, you link it off, and you're good to go from there. SP I think is really good, especially in Sky Strikers, because it can get itself off the field. So even if you activate its effect to go ahead and banish, it comes back, especially in the main monster zone. It's not really going to be a big issue because SP can just go ahead and, you know, fuck off for a little bit, for lack of better phrasing. So that is going to be it for the deck profile, guys. Honestly, I think this is probably going to be one of the most correct way to go ahead and play a pure version of the deck. No hand traps needed. Again, the deck excels itself as a board breaker deck by main decking a whole bunch of board breakers, which if you guys don't want to play cards like Mind Control, Change of Heart, Snatch Steal, I see the benefit of them because I personally very much enjoy those cards. You can definitely go ahead and take those cards out for like things like Lightning Storm, Raigeki, Dark Hole, things like that. Dark Hole might be really good in case you get puppet locked, or your opponent summons something in your main monster zone, in which case that's kind of inconvenient as well. That could be something that you could potentially do. I know that Salamangreat has that card that puts a card on your opponent's side of the field, so regardless of what you guys want to do, I think the Sky Striker is going to be really good this format. I think it has the opportunity to be one of the better decks, especially because cards like Soul Release just, again, plus so hard in this deck as well, because again, search it with Thrust, or you play 3 copies of it soul release, perfectly fine. You go ahead and out everything in your opponent's graveyard, especially if they're playing Snake Eye Fire King, which pure Snake Eye is pretty much dead, but Snake Eye Fire King still really good, full power, untouched essentially. You soul release their graveyard, and then there's really not much they're going to be able to do unless they have Kieran in hand, but by then you already got rid of their Garunics, you know, things like that. So let me know what you guys think about Sky Striker in the comment section down below. Honestly, like I said, I really enjoy this deck. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be great this format. I think it's a lot of potential. Are there any improvements that you guys would do? Let me know in the comment section down below. We can go ahead and talk about it, but without further ado, hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, check the whatnot link in the description for a free 15 bucks, and I'll see you in the next one.